right. Welcome into episode three. We got Michigan alumni and now in the New York Mets system, Mitch Voit. Appreciate you coming on, Mitch.
Glad to be here.
So the first question I have is, so you're obviously not from Michigan. You were from Milwaukee, your hometown.
Yep.
So I heard a story on, I think it was Big Ten Network last year. Backage left, obviously, when
Yeah.
you were a freshman or you were just coming into the
When I
program.
was coming in, yeah, when I was coming
So,
to the program.
so he obviously tried to recruit you to Clemson, they said. So what really made you stay at Michigan and not go with him to Clemson?
Well, the way it went, and this is, word for word, it was how committed are you to Michigan? And I said 100%. And um, they said, well, we won't mess with anything. And so I had always wanted to go to Michigan,
Mhm.
just honestly, ever since middle school. And so I was more so committed to the school than I was any particular person.
Mhm.
And my goal was to just go to Michigan, make an impact, get a good degree, and obviously continue on and play professional baseball.
What made it like always Michigan? Like, is there any particular reason you went to Michigan?
Yeah, you mentioned Milwaukee. When I lived there, um, my dad sometimes, the kids would be sitting down, and he'd say, "I would give every one of you, or any one of you, if you can get into Michigan, I'd give you the shirt off my back to pay for that tuition." And fortunately enough, I got a scholarship to play baseball there, and I was the only one to achieve that. But it just always put in my mind because he had valued education so much,
Mm.
and so it was this mix of I want to be a professional baseball player. I also want to have this insanely good education and degree from the University of Michigan.
Mm. What other offers did you have? Like any visits you went on other than Michigan?
Well, so there were obviously some other offers, and it all came in one big wave. Especially after this one tournament, everything just came in a huge wave. And I got the call, or I called Michigan, and they told me, "Hey, you come down here, visit, and we'll make you an offer." And so from then on, I was just like, "Well, there goes everyone else. Like I got what I was looking for.
Mm.
I don't even know. I don't even know what number they're going to give me. Like I was already going to go."
So obviously this year you were junior last year. Like, was there any thoughts of coming back to Michigan? Like, how long did it take that process where you were obviously it had to be a tough decision, but like how long was the process of not like to decide to go to the draft?
Yeah, honestly, um, I never really thought that I would be here for my fourth year. Once I discovered that, I mean, this was in high school. But I discovered you go to college 3 years, and typically that's the time when you go out. You have the most leverage. Um, but I thought under question, and I always planned on coming back to finish up my degree.
So, is there any talk in like the Met system about you being a two-way, or is that just gone since the arm injury?
No, that was so when it got announced, that was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to say two-way player Mitch Voit. And so at first I handled it. I was like, yeah, no, the plans to go position moving forward, and it always was that, but they just made the mistake of announcing it as two-way. But yeah, no, if it really comes down to it, and that's the only way, I'll break it out again. But we're just gonna stay as a position player.
Someone, I think I was just reading the comments on that post the other day of your draft post. They said, so we got Shohei Ohtani. So someone said that.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few of those.
So how hard was it like not being able to pitch after that arm injury? Was it like tough to like find out you're not going to be able to pitch again at Michigan?
I was able to accept it. Usually when something like that happens, you just got to reframe everything and kind of refocus. And so now I looked at the positive side of it, and I was like, well, I'm going to recover. All my thoughts now are literally just the position side of things. Like I don't need to worry about. It doesn't take up any more headspace. Like every single time I lay down, put my head on the pillow, like I don't need to think about pitching anymore. It can be that one little difference in my swing that makes it so much better the next day. And so really that's all it was.
So we're going back to like the draft side of things. Like, what was it like when you got the phone call? You see the Mets. Like, what was your first thought when you saw that and knew you were getting drafted?
Yeah. That whole day, the entire draft day, it was I mean, I was doing fine. And there's just so much anticipation. And so it was almost like a sigh of relief came over me. It's like, okay, now I know where I'm going. Now I have a plan. Um, and then obviously when I got called out on TV, my family was just so overjoyed
Hmm.
with pride and happiness, and it felt really good.
How long did like so you got drafted? How long till they like made you go like to the facility and stuff like that? Like, what was
Yeah.
that process like?
So first, I got a day to spend at home, but then the next morning I was already flying out to New York, and they flew out me and my parents. They put us in a hotel in between Central Park and Times Square, kind of, experience the city a little bit.
Hmm.
They took us around. I did my physicals up there. All my signings, my physicals, everything was up in New York, and it was a super insane experience. And like I don't even know how to describe that, but I'm happy that my parents were there to see everything and to just kind of feel that because this is their accomplishment too, right?
Yeah.
Like they drove me everywhere. They did so much work to get me here, and so now it's like we both got treated and got a little taste of what it looks like in the show, and that was incredible. And then probably I spent 4 days, 3 or 4 days in New York, and then flew down to Port St. Lucie, where I immediately just started draft camp. Like from the airport, I didn't even go back to the apartments that they had us set up in. I went and I started running sprints for the build up that they were putting us through.
The grind's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who was like the first college like from the Michigan program? Who was like the first people to text or call you about congratulating you to get drafted?
Oh, man. My phone was overheating. And most people kind of understood probably don't call around that time.
Hmm.
And so I was getting flooded with text messages, alumni, donors, coaches, teammates, former teammates. It was everyone, and it was really nice.
How many unread texts did you have like that day? And how long did it take
For
you to get
that,
back to
oh
them?
gosh, it took me at least 2 weeks to get back to everyone. I don't even know for sure if I did get back to everyone, but I'm pretty sure I got back to everyone. But it was at least 2 weeks.
Um, so back to the like college thing. I asked Kurt this, I think, last week. He said that you owned him. So who is one college like who is one of your teammates that you could just not get a hit off of during like practice and such stuff like that?
I'm happy that Kurt was honest with that because I we have we have this thing when it's fall time, like it's my time. But when it's spring, I all of a sudden can't see what he's throwing. Sounds good. Uh, I'm not actually. I'm gonna go to Chipotle. So leave it. Actually, take it. Are you gonna be out for a while? Yeah. All right. Sorry about
You're good.
that. Okay. Who could I not hit against? I mean, you.
Noah Mills' answer was Lowry. He said he just can't get a hit off him. Is what he said yesterday.
Me?
No, Noah Miller said that he couldn't hit off Lowry.
Oh, okay, okay. Man, dude, I don't, I don't think there is. I mean, I might be wrong. Someone might comment if I am, and I'll make sure to take a deep dive into that. But I don't think there's.
There's gonna be someone
I
texting
don't
you like
know.
There's gonna be someone texting you they own you after this.
You know what? We're gonna circle back to that one when I figure it out
All right. So, like, who is the hardest pitcher you face at the collegiate level?
at the collegiate level. All right, the only time I ever felt overmatched to the point where I felt if I go up again, I'm probably not even going to touch the ball was my freshman year. We were playing TCU, and I saw my first ever real sinker slider guy. And I was just like, what even is this? And who knows how to throw the ball this way? And I ended up getting hit by him, though, so that worked out pretty good.
This is the elite
But
pitch.
that guy, I don't even have a name. I just have the recollection of his two seamer.
What was your favorite like road trip you ever went on at Michigan?
Oh,
Arlington was a very popular answer from everyone so far.
no, man.
I think Kurt, the bar said Arlington or Oregon, I think they said. And then Noah said Arlington.
I'm gonna take this one back to me and Ian Kennedy. Um, I'm gonna say it was either Indiana or Iowa. And shout out Ian.
What pro stadium are you most looking forward to being able to play in when you go into the MLB?
That the Milwaukee Brewers Stadium, Miller Park.
That one.
That one for sure. That's got some magic in it.
Like speaking of like the Brewers, like who were your favorite sports teams growing up? Like just not baseball, but like all across like the big four.
Brewers, Packers, Bucks. Those are my only teams.
There you go.
That's
Me,
yeah,
you,
and
and
the
Lally, big.
Bucks used to be just terrorizing my eyes sometimes, but
Me, you,
we
and
moved
Lally,
on to
big
better.
Packer guys.
Yeah, Pack is back.
Yeah, I just went there for the first time against Cincy.
You went to Lambeau?
Yeah, October 12th against Cincy was
Yeah,
sweet.
it's a good area.
Yeah, it's a great area. So, have you had like a welcome to like minor league baseball moment yet? Like anything that's kind of just like shook you
Yeah,
a little bit?
or not shook me, but welcome to minor league baseball is being up 10 runs in a game and they pull out a guy to eat innings who's throwing 98 with the best curveball you've ever seen. That's that's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Noah Miller about that yesterday. I asked him like what it was, like what advice you gave him when you came back, and he's like, just everyone throws 96. Everyone's pumping.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's literally what happened.
Is that like that
Um,
the that kind of leads me into the next one is like how different has it been like from collegiate to being in the minors now? Is it just like that, or is there a lot more differences?
I'd say the biggest difference is just the pitching, or mainly the pitching. You're playing basically every day with one off day, and you practice for like 5 hours before the game,
Hmm.
and then you play the game. So the days, it's longer baseball days, but with no school, it's completely like you have the energy for it.
Hmm.
And so I'd say the day to day schedule and the pitching, and just yeah, no, it's different, but it's a great time.
How different is like your daily routine from when you were here at Michigan and then you were now down there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're how do I describe this? Obviously, no school. School, I'm realizing, it's just it takes up a lot of energy,
Uh,
right? You look back and you realize just how tired you were after all your classes, waking up early for lift class, then you got a game. It's a lot in one. And so our longest days were 6 or 7 hours before the game started. You start lifting, and then you have all your little player development things with hitting, fielding, and it's just time. It's pretty spaced out too, but it's just a lot more time at the field.
Mhm.
because it's your job now.
So this is an interesting one that I've asked everyone is you're going out to dinner. Who are your three dream guests that you would just want to have a dinner with you?
Jay Z, and Jay Z.
There you go. Like I was surprised when Noah Miller he said something. He said like three non-athletes too. I was like, and like Barr said LeBron and Scooble, of course.
That's a pretty good one actually.
Um, what was your most memorable game as a Wolverine, and why was that the most memorable game of your time there?
First game of this season when we played Virginia,
Mhm.
and there's an energy in the air. Everyone was just excited, and everyone was on top of what they had to do. It was like we were just click firing on all cylinders, and that was the most confidence and self belief that I feel we had that whole year was that first one. And then, or actually, you know what, that first weekend.
That was a good weekend.
And but especially that Virginia game, that was high energy, like high intensity. That was really fun.
You hit that walk off, right? I was, or did you score
No,
the
no,
walk
I
off?
was on first.
Yeah, you scored,
Yeah,
right? Who hit
yeah.
it?
Spear hit a.
Oh yeah,
It was a hit
Spear.
and run actually. So we called a hit and run, and that first baseman just kicked, just kicked the ball, and yeah, I ended up scoring. But that was awesome.
Tell me about that. That was the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico?
Yeah, that was Puerto Rico.
So tell me about that trip. Like I heard
We
it was
went to
really nice.
DR earlier.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
Puerto
remember
Rico was
that.
awesome. Yeah, you put the wolves down in the tropics. We're gonna we're gonna hit, and we're gonna play really good.
That was 4-0 week, and that was a great start of the year.
Yeah, that was.
So I had one about my page that I was going to ask you. I got to find it.
Actually, I have a story about Puerto Rico. I ordered these
Yeah.
tacos, like a catering set of tacos, and it was the best thing that I ever had. So then the next night, I order it again, and my DoorDash driver stops at Denny's. Just goes to Denny's and is eating at Denny's, and I'm looking at this car, and I'm starving. Right, it's after the game.
Uh,
I'm spending $60 on like 10 tacos, something like that. I don't even know. And this guy's just sitting at Denny's, and I'm getting mad. And I just started calling him. I'm like, dude, where are you? And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm coming right now. But he was there for at least like 30 to 40 minutes. That was the most mad I've ever been at anyone without meeting them.
that is wild. Just going to Denny's on
Yeah,
a DoorDash order. Did that
he picked up my tacos and decided to go to Denny's after.
did that affect the tip at all?
I'm not gonna say anything, but I was mad. I was really mad at that guy.
So what ended up made you like following my page and stuff like that, and any like stories about that? Obviously, it happened in Puerto Rico, but like any stories about that and like talk about that and from your
Wait,
perspective.
about what specifically?
My page, like everything that happened last year, that.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was so we were on a search for who you were for probably at least 2 months. And then I think someone finally spotted you when we were at Michigan State
Yeah,
because
it
we were
was.
like, oh, this is gonna be like the big reveal. We're gonna find out. But everyone, my family follows you, my girlfriend follows you. Everyone like loved what you were posting that whole time. And it was definitely much appreciated, especially throughout all the Michigan baseball families.
That's what like Kurt said. It was like
Yeah,
it's different than like the normal page because he said it's a little more close to home,
yeah,
like in that sense.
yeah. It was awesome.
Um. So what was? Did we already go over your recruiting process, kind of, or not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit. It was like I said, it came in one big wave. It's a lot different right now,
Hmm.
just because they're not allowed to recruit you so early. And my deal, it was my freshman fall, and all of a sudden you got to call all these coaches. And then I saw you got a call head coach at Michigan. And I was like, it's a done deal. They don't know it yet, but
So
yeah.
did Backage recruit you then? He recruited you before he
Yes.
left. So how was it being back around the team for the couple weeks you were back? Like how was that?
Obviously, I miss the guys. Um, but I'm happy and blessed to be in a position that I am in. So, I mean, just being back around the environment and seeing everyone, it's nostalgic, but at the same time, like if I took a 2 week vacation,
Mhm.
right? Because I just gotten done with the pro ball season, and then it just makes you hungry to start working again. But
Mhm.
I love being around them. I love going back to the field and seeing everybody.
They ask you like what was the most like asked question about like everything like your experience in the minors?
Oh, I don't really know actually. It's I should probably start paying attention more.
Um, so what like where are you in the Met system exactly? Like how did you like move up throughout your like pro ball year or like how did that whole process go? You on the same team
So
all year?
yeah, so most of the guys from the draft, um, we finished out the season in low A. We had a guy named John Bay. The guy's awesome. He went to high A, but for guys who were like, high school, juniors, sophomores out of college, we all finished down in low A, some of them in the complex. And so this spring training really is going to be where we get our first real assignment.
What are you the you're like top 10 in their prospects, aren't you? Mets?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That's a pretty cool position to be into.
Hmm. Who is a baseball player you value your game after and why do you value your game after that player?
Um,
Or just like someone you look up
that's
to?
a question because I, this is the thing with me. I've always been a guy who specifically maximized what was good for me.
Hmm.
So when I model my game after the best way that I can play, the best way my body moves, and what I can do the best in order to like optimize myself as a baseball player. So I don't really look up to anybody except for when I was younger, my dad.
Hmm.
And so I model my game pretty much based off everyone I see. I take a little piece of what they're doing well and their success. That's kind of what I like to do is if I'm ever in some sort of funk, I look at what other people do well and I'll take that, see if it works for me. But I just try and perfect what I can do best and play to my strengths.
Hmm. Who has been like your biggest supporter throughout your like whole baseball career? Or your parents probably, but like just kind of talk about
Yeah.
that.
um, so when I was a kid, we didn't know any sort of structure, any way to make it to where I am now. My dad grew up deep in Milwaukee. He had no structure. Him and his brothers, like they could have been really good, but there was no one around to show him anything really. And so I got lucky. I had a friend named RJ Nord, and he played for this travel ball team named Hitters, and they had real nice facilities, played in good tournaments. I didn't really know anything about who they were, what they were, but I was just playing for like Little League and this local team that just popped up, right?
Hmm.
And so my parents didn't know that you're supposed to register in fall. Apparently, you practice through the winter when you're 11 years old. And so I end up coming back the next year and they're trying to put me on the B team. And there's a board of parents who have their kids on the A team probably were like, no, like he didn't register on time. He's got to be on the B team. And I told my boy about this, and he goes, dude, like let me get you a tryout here. Like that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard because he played with me the year before on that team.
Uh,
And so him and his dad get me a tryout with the owner, RJ Fergus. And so I played the rest of the year on that team with hitters after that tryout, and then I just continued playing with them throughout high school. And their structure and their program to get guys to really just play at the collegiate level, but especially Division 1,
mhm,
was pretty. I don't know how you say it, but pretty structured, and
mhm,
it worked. And so I stayed with them and developed with them, and eventually, through his connections, really, I got my offer to Michigan, and it was history from then. I got to Michigan. Skip was there. All the other coaches that supported him, and every one of them played a role in my development. And that's how I got here. And my parents, always my parents, just standing right there with me.
mhm. What age did you like start playing baseball at, like very young, or like when did you
Oh,
really start getting into it?
my dad probably put a baseball in my hand before I can remember. We were a pretty solid baseball family, I'd say.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just baseball the whole time?
Basketball. A lot of basketball. Basketball has always been that very close second favorite sport of mine.
Mhm. Um, so I asked like everyone this too. Is like, what's your mentality if you have like a bad game, you make a error, you have a bad hitting day. Like, what's your mentality going into the next game, like tomorrow, the day after?
Yeah. I'd say I'm pretty lighthearted, have a lot of self-belief. So to me, if I have a bad day, that's an anomaly. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And tomorrow I'm gonna be the same person. And if it goes the way it should, it'll be a lot different.
Mhm. What was it like being like kind of like the big superstar at Michigan, or like especially your junior year? Like, I feel like everyone knew your name. Like everyone I would talk to about Michigan, like they would know who you are. So like, what was like that like?
Um, honestly, when I was a freshman, I played my first year and I kept the number just so that one day I could leave Michigan and people would remember me. You know, number 55 all 3 years. It's easy to remember that guy who wore 55 from last year and he's, continuing on. So honestly, I'm super happy that I was taking an impact on the Michigan baseball program. And but there were a lot of guys on that team. I gotta say, Benny Casillas outperformed me offensively for sure. Like that guy was on it all year, giving me a run for my money. He was incredible. And for the coaching staff to find that needle in the haystack, that was huge on them because he played a big role for us.
Yeah, I was about to ask like, how was like, what was it like being up the middle with Benny Casillas all year?
Yeah,
Like he was a
that was incredible. And that
400
was my
hitter.
first year playing middle infield too. So I'm like, hey, you gotta tell me what to do sometimes because I've never been in this part of the field ever. And he was great with that. Tino was great with that. Skip was great with that. And it ended up turning out really well. But it was great having him in the middle at the top of the lineup. He was,
Yeah, he was wasn't he? He was a bottom of the lineup guy to start the year, wasn't he? And then he just really
yeah, no,
started
he
getting
was
hot.
bottom lineup for like the first game. And then they're like, all right, that's not going to happen. And then he was lead off for the rest of the year.
He had that one. I forget who it was against, but he had like a 6 or 7 RBI game. I remember that. He was,
Illinois.
yeah,
Yeah,
Illinois.
he won that game single-handedly. Just won that game.
Yeah, he was a beast. I love that guy.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
we always talk about how much aura he has. He's just like, I don't know what it is about him. There's just something about him.
You ever seen his TikTok?
I don't think so.
His duet with Skip?
I don't think so.
You got to see that. It's probably the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I see always like Instagram posts of his girlfriend and stuff like that. He's always posting some
Yeah.
interesting stuff on Instagram. What's your favorite thing about Tracy Smith, just from a coaching standpoint?
I would say, he's going to be upfront with you and tell you how he feels.
Mhm.
And that was pretty big for me. I mean, I I don't know how I'll say this. Like I appreciated the fact that when someone can tell you to your face the way it is. Like I've always just I never liked anything sugar coated. Like tell me the way it is and only that. And so I'd say that was one of the biggest things that when I look at him, like you can say, well, he'll tell it to your face.
How much did that help you, like from a player standpoint, trying to develop, obviously in Michigan? Like, how much did him just being straightforward with you, telling you what you needed to know, help you become who you are today?
Well, it helps you put your trust in him, you know. Like just it helped me trust him, especially. And just knowing like if I'm off, he'll tell me I'm off.
Mm.
And but he also helped instill confidence because he'd only go out of his way if he needed to.
Mm. So, did you like see much from the team when you went back, like
What do you mean by that?
practices and stuff like that? Or do you
Oh
like?
yeah, yeah. I was basically at practice every day.
So, what was like? What's your view on how they'll be this year?
So before we started scrimmages, it was I don't know if I should be saying this stuff on online for other people to hear, but it was our strength is going to be our pitching staff.
Mhm.
And we have a brand new infield this year.
Yeah.
Can't forget that. Everyone from that year is gone. And so it was a matter of basically they're making up the infield. There's a lot of trust in the pitching staff, and it's going to be a different year from that aspect.
Mhm.
So what I'm looking forward to is I think the bats are going to be there. I've seen in scrimmages especially like they show up, guys are all on the barrel. And I think if we can continue that strength as a pitching staff, that this year could be special.
Yeah, they moved Colby. Colby's a second baseman now, right? And
You
I
tell
think
me.
I think he is. I think he was playing second, and Braden was playing third. They moved it around.
I know Skip doesn't like to give people positions because he likes the ability to move around the field.
Mhm.
That's one of his favorite things is um, the word utility.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So, talk to me about like your relationship with Kim. I feel like you guys were really close. So, like, talk to me about like
yeah.
that.
Kim, I think so. When it first started, when we first got here, and honestly, throughout our entire college time together, it was always we were just on top of it. We were ready to work all the time. And that little iron sharpens iron effect of that was incredible for both of us.
Mhm.
And so obviously he slid into first base last or 2 years ago and broke his hand. And he was out for like the whole season. I was so mad at him. I was so mad at him. And then yeah, baseball happens. This season was just down. He started off super hot,
Mhm.
right? And sometimes it just happens to baseball where it was on. You were seeing a beach ball one day, and then they're throwing blitz balls to you the next, right? And so I'm pretty excited to see how he does this year. But that was huge for me was to have someone there who was ready to push me basically every day.
Yeah, I was like what you said. It was like one day you're seeing a beach ball. I feel like that's like Colby. Like Colby started off like slow
Mhm.
last year, and then all of a sudden I think we got to state, and he was just ripping the ball, like hitting homers
Yeah,
every game.
yeah, he's got some real pop in that bat.
What about like was Cole there all 4 or all 3 years with you, or like what was did he
Cole was
transfer in?
there for 2 years.
What was your relationship with him? You seem pretty close with him too.
Yeah,
Not
no, I'm real close to Cole. Actually, I'm gonna go back. he doesn't know it yet, but we're going to be hitting every day. And I'm just going to tell him once I get back, like, hey, it's time to work again. But no, Cole's awesome. And, we still talk all the time.
Who hit more homers, you or him last year? Is it he was the
It
homer
was
king?
me. That was our little battle that we had. And that one weekend in Nebraska, when he single-handedly won a game for us, he caught up pretty good. And I think he was ahead of me during that time. But the problem is when you start trying to hit homers too much, then eventually it gets hard to go back just barreling up the ball and getting the homers on accident.
Mhm. Who is like a team that you like just loved playing? Like you kind of like you did good against them, or you just like obviously like Michigan, or Michigan State, Ohio State was like were those the teams you just like love playing just because of the rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, those games obviously have a lot of energy, but Michigan State was always a good one. Ohio State, whether home or away. This year, honestly, I don't want to say how I really feel about that one this year because there were some things that went on that weekend that were just not the way they should have been. But our team, the way we were always ready, no matter what happened, and we had a lot of fun that weekend.
Yeah, that was ugly for them for sure. How's that but like the bus you take a bus to MSU, right? For the
Yeah.
so how's like that trip like how like fired up does that get, especially just because it's a big rivalry?
Well, I'll tell you what, whoever is at home during that rivalry has a huge advantage because that early bus ride kind of takes a little bit out of you before you get to the field.
Mm,
And so you're grinding a little bit time you get to the other person's stadium and you're a little bit flat-footed.
mm.
So there's a lot of credit to when you can beat them on the road.
Do you when you play them on
And
the
they have
weekend?
a really good job at coming out to.
When you play them on a weekend,
We played them home on the weekend and we played them away during the midweek.
yeah. So
Yeah.
two things about like the bus ride is do you like when you're on there during a weekend, like you weren't there this year on a weekend, but you stay there the whole weekend or you just take a bus ride three times back and forth?
Take the bus every day. And it's like an hour, but yeah. Still, it's you come out a little bit flat-footed after that. You can't be all excited for that whole hour, and you got to find a way to get that happy medium to where you can turn it up as the game's coming.
Yeah, I remember we got off to a slow start last year and then we started ripping the ball. We came out, I think the
Yeah.
first three innings they were up and then Colby had a homer and we started getting it going.
Yeah.
How early did you have to leave for that midweek game this year on the bus?
Oh, I can't remember, but typically we'd show up probably about 3-ish hours early. So, but it's just different. The travel makes it different. And it's different than when you got a 12 a.m. game or 12 p.m. game and you're showing up to the field at 8 o'clock for breakfast because I don't know, you're just sitting on a bus, right? There's nothing to do except go on your phone, sleep.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, do they have like opposing clubhouses in college baseball, or you just have to like on those like
Some of them have opposing clubhouses. Um, but Michigan State, no, you're just outside and it's cold.
that one was cold. I remember that one. That
Yeah.
was that and who was that? Was that Oakland when you guys went to extra innings in the freezing cold?
And it started snowing.
It snowed that day.
It was, yeah, I think it was snowing or hailing. And then we ended, I think, on a walk-off
Yeah,
walk.
we walked off
Oh,
walk.
that pitch was probably a foot off the plate. And the pitcher and catcher are gone. Like I'm like no diss to them. Like they give us a run for our money every single year, but the pitcher and catchers just start going.
I was
It
just
was it was bad.
that was a
I think everyone wanted to get out of that game
yeah.
though.
I was there for that one. That was brutal. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get out of there. I was just like, I think did you get the walk off walk or did you tie it?
No, I was on first.
Yeah, you
I
tied.
think they walked two in a row. I tied it, and then the next guy won it for us.
That was, I think we blew a lead in that game, and then we went to extras, almost lost. That was not a fun game. Freezing.
Yeah, that's always how it is, especially in March or April.
How's like the travel, like the Big Ten tournament? Like, how's that? How cool is
Big
that?
Ten tournament's the
Yeah.
best. Um, just because number one, you're playing in Omaha. Number two, Omaha Prime. You fly in and out of the Omaha airport, and it gets crowded. Like it's a small airport, so I can't imagine during the College World Series when everyone's going in. Um, it gets really crowded there. But yeah, you fly in and out of Omaha. Bus ride is pretty short from the airport to the hotel, and the hotel's right next to the field too. And you have a ton of steak restaurants. That's my favorite trip for sure.
What's that process like? Like, how early do you go down there? How long are you guys there? Obviously, it depends on if you win or lose, but like, how
Yeah.
early do you get there, and like, what does that look like?
Every single trip we take, we just get there the day before. We also can't practice on that field before. So we just get there. There's food by the time like our bus drops us off, and then we get dinner. But that's that first day. And then you come out and you play the game the next day. And we always have that morning slot.
Yeah, what was the format this year? Wasn't it like a lot different than it was previous years? It was like a weird format.
Yeah.
Like
That
pool.
was it was pool play, but if you're not a top seed, like it's one and done. But you'll still play another game.
Weird. I remember seeing it, and I was like, oh yeah, we got the 7 seed in the Big Ten tournament. We play UCLA and who was it, Illinois or something like that.
It was I don't know.
It was something
But
weird.
I'm the big softball actually has a really good format. And honestly, I don't know why we don't or didn't just do that.
What was it before? It was just like a
It was only 8 teams
that
before.
was a bracket.
Hmm.
Mhm. Then they just changed it once like USC and all them got in here, I guess.
Yeah, but we literally, I'm pretty sure, I could search it up, but I don't know. They they do it correct though.
Mhm. Where do they play theirs at? Softball.
Oh, it rotates, but the format of the bracket, that's a good format.
I don't watch college softball, but I'm sure you're right. Did you did you win a Big Ten tournament or no? Not at Michigan.
Say I did.
Was it the year before they won it then? Before you got
Yep, the year before, 22, and they should have beat Louisville that year.
there? I
That was
remember
pretty bad.
that was that was a whole weird.
Teddy JoJo got the ball off the fence. Teddy put the tag on him, and then yeah, they actually found out that those umpires, or one of them, went to Louisville.
Shocking.
So I mean, what are we doing?
I remember that. That was a brutal game
Yeah,
because they were up 2-0, right? They went up 2-0 and they
I
went to
don't
like
know what the score was.
I meant like they won the first 2 games, right? They beat
Oh yeah, they beat Oregon and Louisville.
and they lost 2 in a row.
Yeah,
Remember the first one they lost was like 22-1 or something like that. Something wild.
it sounds right.
I was like, did you like watch that like 2019 run closely, like as a when you were in high school, the College World Series run?
Um, I never really watched the College World Series until I got to college, but I mean, it was cool to see. Obviously, I watched a little bit just because it was on the TV,
Yeah.
and I'd throw on ESPN, and there it would be. But I can't particularly remember um, a lot from that long back.
Did any of the like alumni, obviously Donovan came back. Was there anyone else who like was in the program behind the scenes from that team?
Yeah. Um, so Joe D, he was on that team, but I also met Jack Bredesen, who works with the Mets, and so he was on that 2019 team, and to kind of be able to meet him and get to know him through this whole process that I've just been through was actually incredible. Like he's a great guy.
Hmm. I just thought of this one on the fly. Who is a MLB pitcher you really want to like face?
Hopefully all of them. Um, I don't have one in particular. You know what? I wanted to see Kershaw's curveball at least once because that thing. I want to see the chart on his pitches too. But his curveball looks insane.
Who are you pulling for in the World Series right now?
Toronto Blue Jays.
There you go. Good pick.
Yeah,
Did you watch that?
you have to.
Did you watch the game three or no? Some of it?
Oh, the one that went 18 innings?
Yeah.
Not me. I turned it off once I thought that Toronto was going to win, but that was
Yeah.
in like the fifth inning.
I quit
Yeah,
after
when they were still up. And then
I quit after like the 13th.
I
They had them
watched that whole
loaded.
Seattle one though.
The Seattle Tigers one,
Oh,
the
jeez.
15th one.
Yeah, when
That
I
was
think it was Polanco,
that
right?
was wild. Like
I was pulling for the Tigers in that one.
I went to bed right before that inning. Like I was like, all right, this is enough. These offenses
This
are
is getting
awful.
ridiculous. Yeah.
No shade on those teams, but their offenses were not good in that series. Um, are you excited to play any like teams? Like you, the Brewers, is that your team you're most excited to play in the MLB?
Yeah, I want to play them. Yeah.
Who's your favorite like players in the Brewers right now?
I mean, I don't really think about it that way, but it's more so when I was a kid, Brian Braun
Hmm.
was yeah, he was the guy. Like I was in machine pitch and my elbow was up super high. I don't even know what my bat looked like. But I know my impersonation of him probably wasn't too good. But I was still trying. And but no, I always looked at him when he hit these walk-off home runs, Brewers, and you know, you're a kid watching Fox Sports sitting next to your couch.
Did you like as a kid, like in high school, were you like watching like MLB guys and like trying to like kind of like figure out like more stuff, like watch how they hit and like stuff like that, if you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I did that all the time. I still do that. I still look at the way they hit. Like I said before, like I'm just grabbing out bits and pieces of what people can do successfully and see if they work in my own game. And till this day, probably till the day I stop playing baseball, I'm still going to do that.
So I'll wrap it up right here. This last one. What's your advice for just anyone trying to get recruited like out of high school? Like what's your advice to like put yourself out there and like get recruited to school you want to go to?
You know, as far as that goes, I got lucky. Like I said, I was at Hitters Baseball. He did the networking for me, RJ Fergus. But when I became committed, that's when everything changes. That's when you have to hit the weight room. That's when you're all of a sudden now day one when you get to college, those guys you're seeing playing for that team right now, they're going to be there when you're there. So like you got to be ready physically and mentally by the time you get on campus day one to take their spot is how you have to see it. And so really like you got to be able to compete with those guys and you got to be able to be physical enough to be looked at as an option to overtake someone else.
Did you start playing like your freshman year? Like pretty quickly?
Yeah.
Like how does that process go? Like how was the grind to overtake whoever you wanted to overtake? Like how did you end up doing that?
It was really just you have to be ready for fall ball,
Mhm.
right? Like we had a fresh slate. Our coaches honestly hadn't seen anyone, so I was pretty lucky.
Mhm.
And it was basically if I can do better than so and so, then I have an open position here. So being ready to hit, being like having a good enough arm, good enough power, and just like physically, like if you're out on the field, it's not obvious that you just got in, right? And so that was the biggest thing was just being ready to compete on day one.
What position did you come up playing? You obviously
Third
pitched, but
base.
third base. That's what I thought. All right, that'll wrap up episode 3 or 2. I don't know if Noah Miller's just getting out tonight or not. I don't know. We had difficulties with that. I appreciate you coming on. Follow me on Instagram, Michigan College Baseball, for future guests. And yeah, appreciate it, Mitch.
Yeah, for sure.